Look at that fish finder. If you don't think that ain't a pile of fish on a fish finder, look at that. Hey, day. I mean, pile of fish on a fish finder down there now. We ought to be able to flip them, because they are there. Steve Comalander, Lake Monticello. They are there. The fish finder is covered. I mean, covered. Usually when you see them like that, they nice fish. They coming in to feed too, buddy. They coming in to feed. And there they are. There he is. White perch on a half a gup shrimp. Half a gup shrimp. Probably need to put a whole gup shrimp since there's fish under me like that. Okay, today there's fish there. We in 47 foot of water. We're right on top of this low hump that I've been fishing. And today they look like right now, they're really coming in. There's some big fish in there. There might be some largemouth. I probably should have a whole shrimp on. Probably catch a largemouth on that whole shrimp, but I got a half a shrimp. I might have to break off and put a whole one on at least one of them. They out there though. I'll tell you that right now. They out there. They are there. Keep them under us. A whole school just come through, and if I can keep them there, they moving. They just went through. Now I don't see them like I did. That's the way they are. They're moving back and forth, and you got to. This might be one of them days I can troll around here real fast and catch them. They up like that. So we're gonna troll through here real fast, see what happens. See if I want to hit it. But just a few seconds ago, that was one heck of a school of fish come to me, under me, and now I'm off of it. So they done went on. There's a bump. They're bumping it. I'm probably gonna have to get a whole shrimp put on there. That's what I'm gonna have to do. They're not hitting us half shrimp today as good as they did yesterday. I'm gonna have to put on a whole shrimp. Sure as the world. What I'm gonna have to do. There he is. There he is. There he is. Come on, big boy. Come on here, big boy. Come here to daddy. Come here to daddy rabbit. Yes, sir. That's a nice one. Yes, sir. That's a good one. White perch, Lake Monticello. That's a nice fish right there. Nice fish. I'll go back there. Get out of the way, bird. Bird sitting there trying to take my spoon. That rascal. When that sun burns through, they ought to bite. It's not even burning through. I can't see the land yet. A little image of a land back in here. But it is foggy and cold. My hands are cold. All right, on the bottom. Let's see if we can circle here and catch him quick. We're going to pull this thing here. Oh, they hit it. He hit it. This is the most activity I've seen on the bottom in a week. I didn't see that many yesterday. And I caught them pretty good yesterday. So they off the bottom here this morning. They off the bottom. I might have to put my other rod out there with a whole shrimp on it. I might have to. I got a crappie jig and a whole shrimp, I think, on my other rod. I think it is. Might be a half shrimp on that one too. But, they bumping it, but they ain't taking it. So I'm gonna have to adjust. I'm gonna have to put me a whole shrimp back on now, I think. There you go. There you go. There you go. Nice one too. Got some good ones right under there, I believe. Just catch them. That ain't quite as big as I wanted it to be. He's all right. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a second here, and I'm gonna pull out this pack of shrimp and my little box here. And I'm gonna put me a whole one on right quick. Gup shrimp. Come in a package just like that. 2-inch Berkeley gup shrimp. And then a liquid in there, so you can't take them out the liquid. Even when you go home at night, if you leave them on the hook, they're gonna dry out. So you don't want them dried out. dry out, they shrink up and they get real hard. And you don't want that. So when he's out the water, you got to put him back in that package, or he's no good. All right, we got him on there. A whole gut shrimp. My line's all tangled up here around my jig. All right, let's go back and get the sun popping through here. Ain't going to get it right. Got a fresh gut shrimp on. We'll see what happens. Fixing to burn through. We're in 47 foot of water. See if we can drop back down and catch another one of these wonderful white perch. Fish, a lot of people think they ain't no fun to catch. I don't understand it, but they keep thinking it. Suit me. I like action, and this is what I do when I like action, is fish for white perch. All right, we're gonna thump on that boat. You know, a while ago I thumped on that boat, and that's when they showed up. I think that thumping helps. I think it brings that school to you. Vibration in the water, if they right out China 50, 25, 30 yards, I think it pulls them over here to the top of this hump. And I think it helps. If it don't, it sure is fooling me. Just a little tapping. Found that out one day and I was fishing. I couldn't catch any fish, and I went to move, pulled the trolling motor in, and it made noise on the boat when I slammed it down. And then I walk in this aluminum boat to the back, and I go to crank the motor, and there's a whole bunch of fish under me. I said, well, where did they come from? They come, that vibration, they was right off to the side. They come, that vibration I made, and they come to me. And from that moment on, I figured out, hey, we need to knock on the boat. So that's kind of how I stumbled onto that. And white perch, that's on a spoon. Small one though, I still ain't got them pound of quarters. Them pound of quarters what I like to catch. Them jokers pull. You get 3 of them on there, pound a quarter, pound a half piece, you got a lot of weight. And that's what's fun. You can't beat it, I tell you. But anyhow, I know all these videos are looking the same. You're probably getting tired of seeing me catch white perch, but I'm trying to document everything I do. At least a couple shots of what I do every day. And y'all can follow me on what I'm fishing for, day to day, until I get tired of doing it. I get tired of doing it, I guess I'll have to pause for a while, but right now, the little one ain't got to it. He hit the half shrimp. He hit the half shrimp. All right, drop it back down. So far, that whole shrimp ain't caught nothing. I caught one on the spoon, I caught one back on the little half shrimp. Maybe I should have left the little half shrimp on. And then again, you got to experiment. I might drop this other rod down with 2 crappie jigs, Mr. Crappie's on there, and see if they'll bite that better today. From one day to the next, you just don't know. It might be something there that the big ones are biting, that the little ones are not biting. The big ones are not biting. The little ones will bite. Here's them, they biting, but they're just not the big ones. There's not the big ones, ain't but one at a time. They're the medium size, and guess what? A half a gut shrimp. I messed up taking that other half off, putting the whole one on. Apparently, I messed up. All right, man, I tell you, hopefully today it gets on up and I can take this doggone stocking hat on. It's aggravating. I look like an idiot. But my hands are cold and my face gets cold in this damp weather. When you see fog, it's damp. That means it's cool. But it's supposed to be a beautiful day. And I have caught them on beautiful days after it's been cold for a couple of days. And even when it's calm, some days they'll feed and other days they won't. But now today when I got here, the water's way down. And you know, I've said it before, sometimes that's a sign they won't bite, but not necessarily. It's hard to figure them out. And you know, some of the things I contradict, I'll tell you, and then I end up thinking that might not have been right. So all this stuff I tell you is what I believe from day to day. I try to tell you what I think. Now, whether it's right out of right there's another fish, and it's just a study. Fishing's a study of what to do and when not to do it, and that don't mean a little one caught inside on the half a shrimp. They're starting that thing again, but they little fish, and that's probably the reason they're not taking that big shrimp, because it's too much for them to bite, and that's probably the reason. But from day to day, things change. I might tell you something one day and you'll hear me on another video saying something different, but it's just what I'm thinking at the time. A lot of times I'll talk, but that's what makes me figure out things, is to keep contradicting myself and trying something else, and that's the key. You don't never think you know everything, because let me tell you, you don't. Not fishing, because what you know tomorrow might change the next day. And that's why it's so wonderful to be a fisherman. It's just the challenge of figuring them out. Man, that ain't nothing like it, because you never know. You just don't know. Now, boy, that's a little one. I can't even hardly feel him bend. See if I can catch a nut. He's on there. See if a nut will bite the other one. We might have to move right in yonder. Yesterday I did, and there was bigger fish in there. And I'm going to move in there. But I wanted to hit this spot first. Before I went in there and catch a few of these. These are a lot smaller than I caught yesterday, I'll tell you that. More smaller ones today. But these fish, they are full of eggs. When I clean them, the eggs is just slam full and start to turn red. They're gonna be spawning here for long. It ain't gonna take long. This water temperature in this lake right now is 54. Well, last week when it got warm, it was like 58 back here. 54, it'll get in the 40s, but it's got to be some real cold weather. And when it gets in the 40s, you really got to go slow with these jigs. Right now, when it's 54, you can pull it pretty fast and they'll hit it, because the water temperature ain't that bad, cold. But anyhow, I'm gonna shut you down. I just wanted to make a little short clip. Hope with all them fish on that fish finder, and then they left. They come through, and they were everywhere. You seen it. They come through, and now they done left. And you know, they might be pushing back toward the cove. This is kind of like a hangout out here. They hang out in this deep water, and then when they get ready to move up, they start pushing back in the valleys to the next. I call it a secondary hump, but in this case, it's still a main hump back there. It's not back in the cove. So it's kind of like that place back there is a hump, and the creek channel splits around each side of it, and goes in 3 or 4 different coves back there. Like valleys is what it is. It's really not a creek channel like per se, but it's a valley. This lake's got valleys and humps. You've got 150, 60 foot of water out there in some of these valleys, and then you got shallow areas that come up. So it's a lot of up and down hills, little small hills is what this lake is backed over. In this area, it's a hilly area, and you ride down the road, you see holes and dips and stuff, and that's what's in this lake. So it's a lot of drop-offs is what I'm trying to say. And drop-offs is a deep water lake like this. Now this lake has got a lot of smallmouth in it too, but you know, I've only caught a few smallmouth, and I never have caught one deep. So apparently it's, you know, and with these jigs that I'm using, you would think a smallmouth would bite it, but never have caught one bumping. And I've only caught a couple on a fluke casting. So I think the smallmouth are more of a shallower fish. And they like the shallower part of this lake, and rocks. Sands and rocks is what they like. But I've only caught a few over the years. Smallmouth in this lake. Never catch one out here deep. And never catch any big crappies out here deep. It's funny. You'd think you'd catch some crappies like this. I know they'll bite this, but most of you crappies you catch in 30, 40 foot of water. You don't hardly get over that, and they usually in the coves back there. So, or on these little humps that comes up 30 foot and drops right off. Some of them crappies are zero in on that. I haven't been catching any crappies, and they slacked up. They used to be a good lake to crappie fish. But I'm gonna let you go and we'll regroup back on this. I got to do something different. I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for joining me.